here. Today, we're going to be reading a story titled Noni Says No. The author of this story is Heather Hart Sussman, and the illustrator is Genevieve Cody. Friends, yesterday we read a book about a little girl who was very confident and very brave and had no problem saying no to family and friends when she felt uncomfortable in situations. Today, in this story, our friend Noni is quite the opposite. She has a very hard time saying no and is very scared and very nervous. When I talk about saying no, I'm not talking about saying no to your mom if she asks you to clean your room. And I'm also not talking about saying no to your teacher if she asks you to do your schoolwork. When we talk about saying no, we're talking about saying no to things that make us feel uncomfortable or give us that icky feeling in our belly. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Well, let's get started reading and we'll learn all about our friend Noni and her problem. Noni can do lots and lots of things. She can give her baby brother his bottle. She can tie her own shoelaces. She can walk to her friend Susie's house all by herself. The only thing Noni can't seem to do is say no. Noni can recite the alphabet backwards. She can count to 100 while hopping on one leg. She can help Mama in the kitchen and fold napkins into pretty patterns. But Noni cannot say no. When Noni was much younger, she had no trouble saying no. In fact, she almost always said no to her Mama. She almost always said no to her Papa. And she would have said no to her baby brother too if he had been born back then. But now, if her friend Susie asks to sleep over, Noni says yes, even though she sometimes wants to say no. If Susie asks to play with Noni's special doll, Noni says yes. If Susie asks to borrow her favorite dress, Noni says yes. Noni absolutely, positively cannot say no. One day, while playing hairdresser, Susie asked Noni if she can cut her hair. She wants to take it all off except for a tuft at the front and dye it red. Noni hems and haws, she stutters and stalls. She really wants to say no, but Noni says yes. Afterwards, she is very sorry. So is her mother. Friends, how do you think Noni is feeling right now? Yes, she looks like she's feeling sad. We can tell by the look on her face. Why do you think she told Susie that she could go ahead and cut and dye her hair if she knew it was going to make her feel so sad? I think you're right. Maybe she was too scared to say no. Maybe she was worried that she would disappoint Susie. And maybe she was even worried that Susie wouldn't be her friend anymore if she told her no. Those are all good ideas. Oh, I feel so sad for Noni, and I really hope she learns how to say no. Let's keep reading and find out. At Susie's house, when Noni asks if she can sleep over, Susie has no trouble saying no. When Noni asks if she can play with Susie's special teddy bear, Susie says no without hesitation. And when Noni asks to be the princess and wear the sparkly tiara, Susie says no again. But when Susie asks to come over the very next day, Noni says yes, even though she wants to say no. On their play date, Susie tears a bunch of pages out of Noni's favorite book. She gives herself the leading role when they perform for Noni's brother, and by royal decree, Noni has to play the dog. And when Susie asks Noni if they can watch the same movie for the 1,000th time, Noni says yes, even though she wants to say no. Friends, imagine that you're Noni right now. What would you say to Susie in this situation? Maybe you could say something like, I don't feel like watching this movie right now. Is there something else we can play? I think that's a really nice way to stand up for yourself and to still say how you're feeling. Let's keep reading. Finally, Susie goes too far. She asks if she can stay overnight and sleep in Noni's bed while Noni sleeps on the floor. says Noni. Okay, she says finally. Susie sleeps very well that night, and Noni does not. Now Noni is livid. She is raging mad. She is totally fuming, not to mention very, very tired. When Susie asks if she can have the last bowl of Noni's absolutely positively favorite cereal, Noni digs down deep, braces herself, inhales, and gets ready for the confrontation, the showdown, the fight to end all fights. And in her biggest, bravest voice, she finally says it. No! Okay, says Susie, I'll have toast. Friends, that is how our story ends. So our friend Noni finally had the courage to say no. And how did Susie react when Noni said no to her? Yeah, Susie just said okay. And look, both girls are smiling. So was Susie mad that Noni said no to her? No, she wasn't mad at all. She respected Noni for saying no. Respect means she understood and she listened to her no. That was a great story. It can be hard to tell people no. We might be nervous that they get upset with us, or we might feel like we're disappointing them. I have two special friends that I'm going to introduce to you today, and they're going to teach us the right way to say no. My first special friend is Snappy the alligator. Snappy, can you come say hi to the boys and girls?
What do you want?
Well, Snappy, we're learning all about how to say no. Do you think you can help us?
I guess, but make it fast because I'm a busy gator.
I should mention, friends, my friend Snappy is a little bit grumpy and he's not the most friendly. Well, the first thing I'm going to ask Snappy is if I asked you to share one of your cookies with me and you didn't want to, what would you say?
No way, these are my cookies. Go find your own and leave me alone.
Yikes, I don't think that was a nice way to say no. Do you, friends? Snappy, what if I asked you if I could give you a high five? What would you say to that?
Gross, get away from me. Don't touch me. I don't like humans and I don't like high fives.
Friends, it looks like our friend Snappy is perfectly comfortable saying no, but he says no in a mean and snappy way. What he said to me hurt my feelings. That is why it's so important that we learn how to say no in a strong but kind way. I think my friend Courage the Lion will teach us how to do just that. Courage the Lion, can you come over here and help me teach the boys and girls how to say no in a strong and kind way?
Why, of course I can.
If I wanted to hold your hand, but you didn't want me to because it made you feel uncomfortable, what could you say to me?
I say, I feel uncomfortable when you hold my hand. How about a high five instead?
Wow, Courage, I really liked the way you used that I message. You told me exactly how you felt, and you said that that made you feel uncomfortable. That is a great way to say no. What if I asked you to let me ride your brand new bike? What would you say to that, Courage?
No thanks. This is my new bike, and I'd like to ride it a few times before I share it with others, maybe later.
Wow, Courage, I really like how you said no in such a calm voice. Even though you told me no, you didn't hurt my feelings or let me down. Remember, when we say no in real life, we want to answer strong and kind, just like Courage the Lion. Remember that saying no takes practice and can sometimes be hard to do. It will get easier with time, just like anything else. Saying no is important because it helps us to stay safe and happy. Thanks for learning with me today, friends. I encourage you now to use your puppets, Courage the Lion and Snappy the Alligator, and to act out each of those situations with your mom, dad, or caregiver. Those situations will be listed on the lesson guide. Remember to practice acting out a response using Snappy the alligator. Remember that our friend Snappy has no problem saying no, but he's a little bit grumpy and not very nice. And also remember to use your special Courage the Lion voice. Courage the Lion answers no in a strong and confident voice. Okay, friends, thank you for learning with me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.